Previously on Trails in the Reverie, Lloyd's team fought Sao and Garcia in the ancient battlefield in order to rescue Kia and Ilya. Unfortunately, Ilya turned out to be the Duskin Dancer and an ally of the Supreme Leader, and she nearly kicked Rishia's head off before Zeit and Wazi came to bail everyone out. Okay, so I'm forced into Rufus's route. I hope they don't start tripling his enemy's speed. Nine volley.
You were quite punctual.
You bet. Sup, and welcome aboard the Argo, the vessel of Nine Valley's new high-speed transport service.
Our pilot is a child.
We might have been better off on the ground.
I'll have you know that I'm a licensed pilot. And that's real rich coming from you guys. You look like a bunch of kids about to go on a picnic with their daddy to me.
Ooh, we got burned.
But boy, did I not see your daddy's ID coming. Who knew my mystery client would turn out to be our former Governor General Rufus Alberea? Oops. What, do you prefer Supreme Leader now?
Please, if I knew I'd be repeating myself so soon, I would have gathered my audience. That title is not mine.
But then...
I'm confused. Who's Rufus? That's this guy's real name. C was a nickname. So it's Rufus, huh? I think it's much cuter than C. I give it 85 points! Ooh, he kicked your butt, S.
Why would I care when I don't even get what criteria she's basing these on?
So are you famous then, Rufus? Everyone seems to know who you are. He's not just famous, he's super famous.
Super infamous.
He's the elder son of House Alberea, one of the 4 great houses of Erebonia, and he became Crossbell's first Governor General. Together with the Empire's Chancellor and Crown Prince, he led the country to all-out war. But then he got arrested after it ended. That's all the big common knowledge stuff, but trust me, I know all about the skeletons in his closet. Wow, you're so smart, Nadia.
Is knowing part of handling the unpleasant side of things?
Wow, you're so smart, Rufus.
Can she try not to stir up trouble with him?
Yeah, well, he's apparently not done making a name for himself. Because 3 days ago he busted himself out of jail so he could lead a load of black-clad soldiers into Crossbell and occupy it again. Then he declared himself the new Supreme Leader and claimed he was carrying out the late Chancellor Osborne's will. And you're saying that wasn't you? Yeah, hang on, you were in Crossbell yesterday and at noon today making statements. When you have the time to go to Heimdall? He couldn't have been at this Crossbell like you said. He's been with us the entirety of today and yesterday. And that means... So there are 2 Rufus Albereas, or more like... one of you is a fraud. So it seems. I've no interest in making a public show of him being one, mind you. But I am the genuine Rufus Alberea. On that you have my word. I guess I believe you. Even if Crossbell mistakes the other guy for the real deal, your brother would be able to tell the difference. Can't say I even care. I'm just in it for the Mira. Speaking of, I thought the Erebonian government seized all your assets. How are you going to pay for your fare? I've long kept my assets spread out in the event something like this were to happen. What the government sees is a mere fraction of what I own. You really do prepare for anything, huh? Phew, I was worried we were duped into doing charity work for a sec. Well, we've come this far. I think it's about time you start filling in the blanks. About what exactly? You. We don't plan to call things off just because we know who you are now. But you've got to admit you're not an average guy, and that means being around you is a huge risk on our part. I think you owe us a more thorough explanation on what you were up to before we met and what you're after now. It's the least you can do if we're going to keep working together. Very well. I intend to do as much from the very beginning anyway. You'll have to understand the full scale of our situation before we advance to the next stage. Rufus' tone remained flat as he recounted recent events. It began late at night on March 14th when Auroch's fort in the Croizen province fell under attack. This was the work of the Ebon Defense Force, who were there to aid the Crossbell division of the Imperial Defense Force in their escape. Upon freeing the IDF from their underground cells, They continued on to another cell in that same fort, Rufus Albarea's. Yet their aim was not to free their former leader, but to assassinate him. Rufus definitely turned the tables against them while also managing to extract a wealth of information, even if their knowledge lacked the finer details. He learned that they had abducted Prince Oliver and would be executing a major operation in less than 24 hours. He also learned of a small suitcase that the EDF wished to find with great urgency. Sensing trouble brewing in the wake of Crossbell's liberation, Rufus then resolved to escape to better assess the situation at hand. Next day, March 15th, was no less eventful. An imposter using Rufus's name and face as his own stormed Crossbell sighting ceremony and declared it occupied once more. This information paired with the intelligence guard to suggest further trouble brewing in Heimdall helped the real Rufus ascertain his next objective. He issued a statement claiming to be the prince's abductor to lure Class VII to the Imperial capital. And following that, he sets his sight on Aurochs Canyon to make this enigmatic case the EDF were so desperately seeking. You know the rest, of course. Wow. You've been a busy boy, huh? Well, I've been cooped up in the cell for half a year. I had plenty of pent-up energy eager to be spent. To continue, it's clear that the actions of the EDF and my spurious self were planned to the letter. I imagine a multitude of events these past months have been part of their grand scheme, not just the recent attack in the city. The post-war occupation, the occupiers electing to ignore my call to surrender, and even the city's liberation a month ago. If this fake Rufus is pulling the strings here, you being around is only going to be one big headache for him. You think it's possible you being locked in the same place as the IDF was intentional? I would assume so, everything about it right down to my assassination attempt. And that in itself was just a small part of something much greater. Then what are you planning to do about it? You sound like you've got a pretty good idea of what you're up against. So what does the real Rufus want? I have two goals. The first is to eliminate the imposter who seeks to use my name for real. Makes sense if it means them being around equals people trying to kill you. The second is to settle a past debt. Oh? Crossbell's current status traces its origins to the war that ended not long ago. I, the primary member of the Ironbloods, was one of the two who led a charge in that war, the other being the very man whom I revered as my father, the late Chancellor. Having made this mess, it falls to me to clean it up. The Ironbloods are an awful loyal bunch. I also feel a certain degree of responsibility towards Crossbell as its former Governor General. Let me see if I got my head around this. In short, you want to rectify Crossbell's situation and fix whatever's going on in Erebonia. That sum it up, right? That would be the end result, yes. You know that's a lot to expect poor people to pull off. Plus why I never specified it being us to achieve that end result. There's no reason it has to be us who faces our enemies. Confronting evil and overcoming it with heart and willpower is best suited to heroes, not villains like myself. Like Reed and his friends, whom we fought earlier, and their SSS counterparts in Crossbell. No need to imitate what they have perfected. Works for me, doesn't feel like our style. We're gonna handle the dirty work for the clean and squeaky heroes, huh? What we can do is learn the truth behind these myriad occurrences in our own way. And we can start with the very valuable clue we happen to have in our possession. Whom was it? Why are you staring at me? We're just so cute when we can't help ourselves. Really? I see. That makes perfect sense. To be admired is the destiny of a masterpiece. Gaze upon me at your heart's content. It's hard for me to picture a doll being the key to unraveling all that's going on. It's weird, yeah. And her not remembering anything makes it that much harder. Got any plans for tackling that one, boss? I just so happen to have a question for you, too, regarding that very issue. Jorg Rosenberg was her manufacturer, and the man who requested that she be delivered to me. Well, technically, yeah. Now that work in Heimdall is done, I was hoping to visit him in person. But your hesitant response tells me that may not be possible. Has something befallen him? Nope, he's fine. It's just not much would be gained by going to see him. He's the one who gave us the job, but he specified that he was just an intermediary. My guess is that whoever had him give us the job is also the one who got him to make her. Mainly because he didn't seem to know much more than we do right now. I see, then our only choice is to aid her in recovering her memories after all. I assume you don't know where you were originally crafted. I wish I did, but I'm afraid not. I've got a place we can start at least. Jorg didn't directly deliver the case to us. He said to pick it up from the Moon Temple. He must have hidden it there before hightailing it out of Crossbell. It'd be a safe bet to say she was made there or close to there. Almost certainly the Rosenberg studio on the Mainz mountain path then. Sounds about right. We passed on the way to the temple but didn't go inside. A wise decision. If the Meister hid the case elsewhere, the studio has been compromised in some manner, I'm sure. We still do not know if her memory loss was unintended or deliberate. But danger or no, it's possible we'll find something to ease her current predicament. So we know where we're going then. Our course was always going to lead to Crossbell. The timing is apt. We may as well go now. But how are we going to get in when the borders are so well protected? Fear not, for I have a plan that will require some preparation. I'll need your participation in order for it to work, but the details can wait. For now, rest well, children. Light in the dark. I was getting so sleepy while they talked, but I feel wide awake now. Perhaps I'll tour the ship and see what everyone is up to. It's a lot of stuff added. I actually didn't get to scan the Hayway members despite hitting them 5 million times in the face? Lame. Strange. These two did not get as big a speed boost as I was expecting. Probably to make up for the fact that you're fighting two of them while on a time limit. Yeah, they got absolutely zero speed boost on Abyss at all. They still get the damage boost, of course, but... Man, they really have to add an RP condition? That was messed up. I don't know why they keep releasing this book in 2 chapters at a time. That's a lot to go through at once. Seiyu could barely see Chunlan's back in front of her. The snow clouds above were thick enough to obscure the moon, and the wind blew hard enough to drive fragments of icy snow into even the tiniest gaps of her clothing. The drifts keep piling on the ground were now up to her knees, sapping their strength with every step. Februaries on Mount Whitecrown meant the blizzard struck with the ferocity of a temple guard repealing any who dared to trespass on her sanctuary, and the years had only made them more violent. The Motagi took this as a sign that the mountain spirits were angry at humanity for desecrating the blessings bestowed upon them by Adios. It would be easy to dismiss this as superstition. The way in which the mountain swallowed up its prey and snow bordered on unnatural. Even the sound of each blizzard's fury was enough to drown out the most primal screams for help, making rescue a full stream. In Mount Whitecrown's most recent display of rage, a single point of light marched through. It consisted of 3 travelers, speaking volumes at their peak to only just hear one another. Damn, it's cold out here. Sure was an idiot for losing my furs. Achoo! Wanted to trade coats, Tao? Don't be silly, Seiyu. No way I'm gonna let you catch a cold. I got cloths to rub me down and warm me up, so I'm doing just fine. Chunlan led the way, with Seiyu and Tao trusting the light of his lamp to guide their steps. None were dressed appropriately for such an environment. Chunlan had given his coat to Seiyu, leaving him with a thick, though not quite thick enough, sword to battle the elements. Seiyu was still woefully underdressed even with the coat, but she was still much better off than Tao, who had fashioned a pitiful covering by cutting armholes into a hempen bag. There's a Motagi lodge just up ahead, or Chunlan urged. Just hang in there. The only thing that inspired them to continue this terrible trek was the route itself was short. The foreigners had no defense against the cold. They knew, as woodland wanderers would, how to navigate uneven terrain well. It was only this knowledge that helped them conserve the valuable energy they needed to keep up with the natives of the land. They reached the cabin around midnight. I almost don't know how we made it through that, Chunlan heaved with relief as they entered. We've got time to rest if you need it, though it probably won't be too comfortable. The cabin had been constructed as a supply stop for those climbing the mountain rather than as any formal lodging, consisting of a single room that groaned with every push of the wind outside. It did so even as Chunlan opened the door. He could feel the vibrations of its planks even with his gloves. Yet ramshackle as it appeared on the surface, it remained firm in its foundation, indicating it was regularly cared for. Chunlan's mind wandered to Raiju once they were indoors. He imagined that based on the direction it had gone when fleeing Yoni, it was likely hiding somewhere near the summit. Not only the way he already knew of the beast. No one had found its lair in the areas inhabited by the other bears. The area in question showed evidence of lightning damage. The best course of action, if they were to find it, was to resupply and strike out quickly to reach the summit by dawn. Chunlan turned to his companions. There's more stuff left here than I was expecting. Take whatever you can carry. Oh, so you can shove a short blade into this wooden hollow thing and make it into a spear. To observe one weapon among the stock. That's called a Fukuro Nagasa, Chunlan explained. It's an offshoot of the knife I have with me. While he was busy gathering anything that was vital to their survival, Seiyu took a look at the hunting gear and specialized equipment in the farther corner of the cabin. She was quietly curious about her surroundings, both from a simple, innocent perspective and from a deeply intellectual perspective. Oh yeah, Spur, where you been all my life, you beautiful bastard? Down on the other hand, dived into the supplies with a bend, eventually caressing and curling up among a pile of warm furs. There was a fire pit in the center of the room. Seiyu approached. Looks like we got an Irori too. I'll go ahead and get a fire going. Thanks. Wait, where do you learn that word? Chunlan was puzzled as he continued soaring through the supplies. It was already strange enough that you pegged me as a Motagi at all. I learned Irori from this book, she responded, removing her book from the pouch at her waist. And the traveler who gave it to me was a Motagi, the same person I told you about before. was the book she had been so particular about when they first met, entitled Fundamentals of Indigenous Cultures. Chunlan found that the binding was quite aged when he took it into his hands and flipped through it, but it held up very well over the years. While this book is over 25 years old, the information would have been out of date to more modernized cultures, but all that was written on the Matagi was still very relevant, making it all the more apparent to him that their lives had not changed with the passing of time. The book contained the names, lifestyles, and beliefs of the various cultures and ethnicities Chunlan had never even heard of before, as well as objective insights from the author, adding a beating heart behind its logical prose. Seo's and Dao's people, the Woodland Wanderers, were also mentioned. I find your people, Chunlan said, reading on with interest. You sound like a pretty peaceful group the way you're written here. I wondered again how the Woodland Wanderers had such a rare artifact in possession and why they were guarding it, though most of that had been answered at full volume during the windy trek. The Woodland Wanderers had an agreement with the Septian Church. They would collect any artifacts the Church's people could not reach, and in exchange they were given the freedom to use them at their discretion, indulging in their many benefits before handing them over to the Church at designated shrines. The book itself only gave vague hints as to this part of their background. So it was full of excerpts on how they supported themselves with woodcrafts and assisted merchants during peaceful times, as well as brimming with notes detailing their relationships with other cultures and their day-to-day aesthetics. I doubt anything written here is new to you, but the book itself is special, Chunlan guessed. That's right, I'm only here today because of it and the person who gave it to me, Seiyu answered. You might say he and it are motivation. Must be nice to be that motivated by something. For me, it's more, both she and Dao had found their own purposes in the ways of their people. Seiyu in particular held a deep faith in her heritage. That was key in her reasoning for being on this mountain. Chunlan failed to resonate with that even now. What was he on this mountain for? What inspired him to be here in this moment? No matter how far he looked within, all he could see was a deep, unending emptiness. It's fine if you can't relate, Dao's voice snapped him out of a meditation that was longer than he intended. Now back to the senses. Chunlan looked to see the young man now stretched out over straw and Seiyu crouched in front of the Reverie. Seiyu's the only bookworm we've got, so even though she just sees the whole world differently. Seiyu's bigger perspective has helped me find my way more than a few times, Dao continued, standing to give Chunlan a cheerful pat on the shoulder. So I get what you're going through, but you don't have to be set on something like her or have any deep meaning in what you're doing right now if it's just not there. If you can't think of anything that motivates you, just do whatever you're doing now, and maybe in time that motivation will find you. Yeah, right. Chunlan was moved by words that were precisely what he needed in the moment to ground him. For now, all we can do is do what we were planning to do anyway. Keep moving. He did not know when he would be free from the chains of the uncertainty he found himself wrestling with. What he did know was that something had changed about the uncertainty itself, and his new companions were a catalyst to that change. Perhaps this would further lead to something, perhaps even lead to the exact same thing that birthed motivation in them. Their silence between conversations as they watched the quietly flickering fire had been deafened by the wailing winds outside. But as the fire grew, so did his voice, and Chunlan began to think that even through a blizzard too great for words was still a straight, clear path to be continued. In the depths of his memories, listen, Chunlan, before we go after Raiju, there's something I want to say, began the young boy's father. We Matagi follow the ways of our people. In doing that, we respect this mountain and stand watch over it for its peace. Do you know why we do that? It's not the first time he asked that. In fact, he had asked this countless times, but never had he asked it while they were on the way to slay a beast when even Kyu and Ulkis had failed. Rather than ask why his father, the current chief in the legendary hunter's absence, would bring it up now, Chunlan repeated his usual answer. His father never asked anything without a reason, so the answer would come with time. Blessings of the mountain are the blessings of Adios. We protect them so as to show our thanks to her. That's right, we believe this, and we aren't wrong for it. Maybe we have a greater purpose than even that answer. I want to ponder what that is as we hunt Raiju. So what, does the old answer mean you've been full of it all this time? His father laughed. Sorry, Chunlan, I meant to save this conversation for after you become a man. But here you are, hunting Raiju with me. It makes for a fine opportunity. Lesson continues, they ascend the mountain and were soon near the midpoint of the Mount Whitecrown, an area where bears were known to live. No one knew where Raiju made its nest, so their only option in tracking it was to go to where it was last seen and hope there were tracks to follow. We were able to see tomorrow because we take the lives of our creatures. These creatures are no different. They fight to survive, and sometimes that means hunting us as we hunt them. Even Raiju, as the castest monstrous shadow over the hole in the mountain, is no exception. Right, Chunlan responded pensively. After 20 years of hunting with Kyu and Ulkis, I came to a realization. We are on equal footing with the beast. We may not be able to see eye to eye with them, but we understand that we face life as they do. We face life. Okay, what does that mean? Chunlan was familiar with the concept of giving thanks to life and taking it, but there was something abstract about the concept of facing it. He was also not the best at wrapping his mind around the philosophical, preferring straightforward paths with simple, direct answers. Anything that's straight beyond that risked him getting lost in his own thoughts. I don't think there's a singular answer to that question. The journey to try and find your own answer is just as important as the answer itself. Without the journey, life cannot be faced. It will be meaningless. Meaningless? That's right, face it, accept it. Your struggles will reveal guideposts on your journey that only you can see. Young Chunlan thought about the obstacles on the path that made his life. At the same time, he considered the lives of others who had chosen different paths, wondering what their answers came to be through it all. Had those who left the village run away from the ways of their people, or had they chosen to leave after finding something that gave their lives meaning? But was there meaning in becoming poachers or trophy hunters for nobility? He doubted it. This is going over my head, he finally admitted. Knowing that is a victory in itself. Pride blinds us from our correct path. John's expression sounded as far as face. There were moments when he was deeply stern, but for now, as he presented his son the question, even those twice and thrice his age would wrestle with, he presented his softest side. What's this have to do with Raiju? Chunlan asked. I'm sure you already know this, but the hunt for Raiju is a dangerous one. Some of their footfalls on the snow halted. Chunlan's father used a pause to give his son time to consider the reason behind their talk. What I'm saying is we might end up as the ones being hunted this time, he continued. The risk of us losing our lives is higher than any normal hunt. Perhaps the odds are even against us. Do you understand what could happen, Chunlan? He nodded in response. He understood well, but he didn't want to put into words. Accept reality. Maybe this hunt doesn't end the way we want it to. I thought this might be my last chance to tell you that. In his short life, he had come to have a very simple dream. Hunt Raichu with his fire, protect the mountain, and surpass Kyun. It was a way he could show the Vagabond youths his age that there was meaning in the path they had not chosen. So how did this new course of thought his father proposed fit into his dream? Was it a new one that deviated entirely, failing to fit the curated mold of the path he chose to walk? The answer did not matter. It was not long until Chunlan lost it all, his dream and his father. What he found among the broken pieces of his life came afterward was not any true answer to his father's question, but a realization that he indeed could not accept reality, leaving only a festering hatred in his heart. The rising sun stained the snow atop Mount White Crown with a subtle gold, and the lone Matagi and two woodland wanderers carried more than their weight in supplies as they continued to heave and climb. The blizzard itself has blown over, but strong gusts continue to persist, bringing with it sheets of snow in what may as well have been the same thing. Each sheet reflected in the morning glow, making them feel as though they were being assailed by brilliant motes of pure light. As planned, they arrived at the summit just as the dawn was breaking. Their speed was aided by the fact that woodland wanderers were light on their feet even when weighed down by seemingly endless amounts of gear. Now that they were dressed properly for wear, they could tackle the cold with a speed that put even local to shame. They still knew nothing about Raichu's location beyond it being somewhere within the vicinity. It was unclear where they should first scout the place out, planning their next move carefully, or if they should strike as soon as they caught sight of the beast. Chunlan and Seiyu continued to discuss options as they moved. No matter how he tried, Chunlan could not calm himself down. It had nothing to do with his doubt in his or his companion's abilities. It was that the yet-to-be-seen foe that they were hunting had a kind of strength that made even the most thorough plan seem insufficient. We're finally going to have the last part. It's been divided for so long. Right? Dao chimed in agreement with Seiyu's musings. And if things go smooth enough, we might even finish up that bastard who keeps tailing us. We'll finally be able to face all the people he killed. I'm kind of excited to see what it does when it's complete. The blade of the Thunder Heavens sure makes it sound like it will be impressive to me. Well, began Chunlan Riley. The Oni will be a perfect test subject once you find out, won't he? Neither Seiyu nor Dao were particularly attracted by the suggestion. They remained focused, their eyes looking straight ahead, with no immediate dangers on their mind to stand in the way of their goal. In Seiyu's case, retrieving the last part of the cylindrical artifact was not optimism, but the next step that was simply going to be. The Woodland Wanderers and the values they acquired from their tight-knit environment fascinated him. On the surface, their traditions were simple. They patrolled the eastern side of the continent, retrieved artifacts, and passed them along to the Septian Church. And yet, each cycle of this journey was rolled with value and supplemented by countless customs that had been passed down from generation to generation. Even as Seiyu and Dao made slight deviations from their people's path, they balanced it by continuing to respect and adhere to their many traditions and values they had long loved and accepted. What did he value? As he observed them, Chunlan thought back to the days when his father was still alive, when he had a simple, pure goal. When he had that goal, he never felt a moment's resistance against the weights of the Matagi. What do I have now, he wondered aloud. His purpose was shattered, leaving behind a constant feeling of questioning the nature of life itself, and the puzzle he was no closer to solving now than he was then. The only thing sustaining Chunlan through his days was that it was natural for a body to eat, and sleep. Meaning these two was an outlier to his daily routine, and one that had sparked something in him that he had not felt in a long, long time. Could these strangers who possessed what he lacked lead him to reunite with that feeling of having a purpose in life? Look out, Dao's shout snapped Chunlan back to the senses. In that same instant, he felt a light jolt and something impacting his body. Dao! Cried Seiyu. Dao shoved both Chunlan and Seiyu aside. A heartbeat later, lightning flashed and an explosion near him. Something struck the youth like an invisible wall, throwing him to the ground. Smoke rose from his skin as convulsions coursed through his body. It's the worst possible outcome among their discussed options. Raichu had attacked first. Dao, are you alright? Yeah, I'm glad you're okay, Seiyu. My body's numb, but Granny Haku's charm is nothing to sniff at. I think I can even stand. Seiyu realized and localized that the pain he had covering his body was a ward that must have been insulating resin. After confirming that Dao was well and calm, Chunlan retrieved his binoculars. Sorry, Dao, I let my guard down, he said. Don't worry about it. Even if you noticed, you might not have been able to dodge it. Just focus on fighting it. He wasn't about to make the same mistake twice. He knew if the King of Feather could see them, then they could see it as well. There, he found his long-time nemesis. It was a thing thrown for the conqueror of the land and wielder of lightning through its very claws. At the highest peak of Mount Whitecrown, looking down at them, was Raiju. To be continued. Hey Lapis, is she asleep? Sure is. That's a shame, I want to play with her. Sorry to disappoint, but let her rest, okay? She always wants to sleep, so today's been a long rough one for her. So many boss battles in a row. Does she normally sleep a lot? That's an understatement. She spends most of her days out like a light. She's even fallen asleep in the middle of combat. Has she ever been to a doctor to fix it? Oh no, she's not sick, just very laid back. It makes life a real pain sometimes, so let me tell you. Hey, I'm sure it does. But she's my partner, and there's no one else I'd rather depend on when it counts. Besides, I swore to protect her in her brother's place. I intend to honor that for the rest of my life. Are you and her brother different or the same? I'm finding it hard to wrap my mind around the idea of siblings. And let me put it like this. How would you feel if your Rosenberg were to make another doll exactly like you? If they were exactly like me, then they would be perfect. The world being blessed with more perfect things to admire is a good thing. Well, what if your doll wasn't as cute, pretty, strong, or emotive as you are? What if others called them a failure? There isn't any such thing as a Rosenberg that's also a failure. But if by some chance that were to happen, I'd be very annoyed to hear others speaking of them that way. There you go then, that's how siblings are. Do you think Rufus would be annoyed if he heard something like that about his brother? That's who that boy we saw before is, right? Beats me, I don't know the first thing about what goes on in that guy's head. So it's a mystery. Yeah. Anyway, you should try and get some rest while we have the chance, assuming dolls need rest anyway. Okay, thank you, Swin. Z. Now, should I take it slow and tear you limb from limb, or should I give you a delectable dollop of poison and make it nice and quick? Hee hee. Z. Nadia's dreams sure are colorful. What's up? I thought you'd be asleep by now. I'm not tired yet. Say, why don't you give me a neat bedtime story? Like what? You're kind of putting me on the spot. Okay then, why don't you tell me about your swords then? They're neat enough. I like the way you can take them apart and put them back together. Yeah, they've got a pretty unique mechanic to them. When they're apart, I mark my targets to hit them dead on without a problem. And I put them together so I can really lay into them for a ton of damage. They're more like special ornaments than weapons if you want to be nitpicky with it. Sounds a little complicated for me, but you sure look amazing when you use them.
I wonder what it's like to have a sibling. Do I have any out there?
Well, this is my lowest customer. You want something? I just felt the urge to tour the ship, and you're hardly big. I'm still bigger than you, and come to think of it, I haven't introduced myself to you yet, now have I? The name's Jingo. If there's anything you want your hands on, you just give me a holler. I'm Lapis. Nice to meet you, Lapis. By the way, you're not human, right? Indeed, I'm not. I'm a proud Rosenberg doll. Really? The world's full of surprises. You don't look surprised to me. When you're in my line of work, you meet all kinds of folks. You're not the first unusual customer I've had. I'm not. Your job sounds very interesting. You know what else would be interesting? Mods. Can I interest you in a Gatling gun for an arm or eyes that'll let you shoot lasers out of them? I'll give you a pretty discount. You can do all that? It'd be worth a shot. I agree it would be interesting, but none of it sounds as beautiful as my current design, so I'll kindly pass. I remember doll from Ease 9 had a gun located on her body somewhere. No big. If you change your mind, you'll know where I am. I certainly do. Anyway, it's about time for Cerberus's lessons. Cerberus. What's this lesson about? Being the strongest guard dog around. Well, now I've got to know. What does that take? So far, I've had him help with the cleaning and run my shop, but today he's getting pointers on flying this baby. He's got to be able to navigate anything life throws at him, and that includes a steering wheel. Okay then, first I need you to plop yourself on top of my seat. Wait, is this gonna work? I guess as long as your front paws can reach the wheel, it's all good. You can do this, Cerberus. Good boy. And they all died that day. Hang on a minute. I wasn't good at button at first, but I can't keep my mouth shut after what I've just heard. Oh yeah, what's that? Maybe the idea of trying to teach a dog to fly this airship. Still not hearing what the problem is. How is he supposed to learn if he doesn't take the wheel? All of that is the problem. You're trying to make a dog transcend the limits of the canine species. Come on, now you're just exaggerating, but you're welcome to tune in on this lesson if you want. What part of what I said makes you think? I just had a dream where the whole airship fell out of the sky. Where are you, S? Comfort me! Anyway, we're paying for this flight, so if you wanted to attempt the impossible, do it in your own time. We'd like to live for the landing, if you please. Woof? Aw, fine, you're one tough customer. Sigh.
Cerberus is so cute! I hope I can pet him later on.
Maybe Cerberus should become a playable character. I'm sorry, what's that? You're trying to say I'm adorable, aren't you? Well, of course I am. I'm a Rosenberg doll. But don't worry, you're adorable too. What's up, you changed your mind about the body mod? Not exactly, I was curious. Just how much could you upgrade if I really asked you to? Can't say without getting my head story, but I bet if you really wanted to, we could probably get all your parts swapped out. Guessing we'd have to call in a specialist, though, on account of how obviously, well, special you are. Oh, I see. Thanks, I guess. What brought us on anyway? Well, I was thinking earlier, if I exchanged my parts, would I still be me afterwards? Oh yes, the suck philosophy question. Or is it the boat? I don't remember. Was it a sock or boat? Or if you kept patching it or replacing all the parts, would it still be the same thing? Would it have the same identity? Don't be silly. It'd take more than changing out some nuts and bolts for you to turn to someone different. What if we took out a lot of parts? What if I asked you to replace everything and there wasn't a single piece of me left from before? Can you say I'm the same person then? I'm still Lapis Rosenberg? You're asking some pretty big-headed scratchers, Sully. You got the wrong gal for that kind of philosophical conversation. Let me ask you this. At the end of the day, does it really matter? I don't know. That's what I want to figure out.
I'm afraid this side of the deck is occupied. You'll have to sleep elsewhere.
I wasn't planning to sleep out here.
Oh? Then what's brought you outside?
I wanted to go stargazing. What about you?
I wanted to take in the night air.
Since we're both here, there's something I'd like to ask.
What is it?
I know that you're a famous man, but are you a good man or a bad man?
Bad, though that would be putting it mildly.
So very bad?
Very, very bad. I have used anything and everything to advance my interests, be it titles, fame, or even those pure of heart. There is little point in feigning a moral compass when human lives hold no value to me, or acting chivalrous when all that does is hinder me.
Do you still feel that way?
I do. I'm using you, Swin and Nadia, to bring my designs to fruition, am I not? I'm also using those we met in the capital, like my brother.
None of that sounds like something someone good would do, yes. You really are a very bad man.
I'm glad we could come to an understanding. So, armed with that knowledge, what do you intend to do?
Am I supposed to do something?
I suppose a doll has no reason to care if a human is good or evil.
Being a doll has nothing to do with it. But were you hoping I would admonish you? Or perhaps comfort you?
Of course not.
Okay, then I still intend to do nothing. Whether I praise you for your deeds as a hero, or chastise you for your misdeeds as a villain, it won't change you at your core. You are who you are.
Just how does humanity look through your lens for you to think in such simple terms?
I don't know. I can't answer that when I'm still learning about what it means to be human. All I can say is, I don't see if you're good or bad, where you're from, or how you were raised. I don't see what you've done or haven't done, what you possess or what you lack, because none of those are what make you exist as a person. So it can't be that you suddenly don't exist just because someone decides to reject those parts of you.
That's quite a philosophical approach to the matter. Or perhaps that objective thinking is the most one of artificial intelligence can fathom.
I don't know. How could I know? Just to me, being is what makes a human a human.
Perhaps you're right.
And so, it's what makes you, you.
Perhaps you're right. I don't remember the exact moment I began to search for meaning in my life. My father elected to raise me as his own son, irrespective of the fact I was born because his wife laid with another man. He did so with the same ease he rejected his flesh and blood because he was born from a common woman. When I learned the truth, I finally understood that House Alborea wanted me not as a human being, but as a product of noble blood. It was so hard to bear that it made me sick. Was that all? Was that the only reason I existed? I refused to accept it. I couldn't take it. And as I turned my eyes from this terrible truth, a new, more terrible thought dawned upon me. If that was not the reason I existed, then what was? That was when I met him. It is said we seek that which we do not have. Through him, I sought the father I never had. I convinced myself that if I did as sons do and became more than he ever was, then I would understand the real reason for my existence. And there it was. At last, I had a goal, something to pursue. I stopped at nothing to make that goal a reality. There was no effort too ambitious, no principle too sacred to violate. But no matter what I did, it still wasn't enough. Everything I had done to secure my victory had led to a resounding, humiliating defeat. A defeat at the hands of my own brother, who, despite his unfortunate upbringing, had grown into someone strong and true. I envied him for that, but perhaps I should have known all along that a mere product could never hope to have a real, genuine purpose. The whole predicament would have been worth a laugh had it not been so deeply painful. Why am I here? What is my reason for being? Who am I?
You are who you are. I don't see what you've done or haven't done, what you possess or what you lack, because none of those are what make you exist as a person. Just to me, being is what makes a human a human.
Such nonsense. I thought you weren't planning to sleep out here. I'm unsure if dolls are capable of catching colds, but I believe you've taken in the stars enough for one night.
March 19. I wonder if he'll fight Lloyd's party next. Are we all prepared? Ready to go anytime. We're good at this stuff. I don't know what we're preparing for, but I'll give my best. Our interests will be best served if you say nothing at all. Okay then, I'm gonna make a landing. Nine volley. So that will give them a legit reason to get past these guards if she just disguises them as cargo. Halt, are you authorized to be here? Wait. When you get clothes that match the fake. Your Excellency. What's the meaning of this? You stand in the presence of our supreme leader. We informed you in advance of our arrival. Why were you not ready and waiting? I guess because if they don't have a way to get around the bioscanners or basic checks, it'd be too risky to simply hide in the cargo, huh? Yeah, so it would probably safer to just do this instead. Disguise Rufus as himself. Or Diva's apologies. There's no need to be quite so harsh. These are good men. The airport has only been under their jurisdiction for a few days. It takes time to adjust to new responsibilities. You are merciful, Your Excellency. We'll arrange a car for you at once. No need, I'll arrange for one personally, so remain here and continue your duties. Yes, Your Excellency. That's strange, but shouldn't these guys know that there's two Rufuses around? Wouldn't the other Rufus have tried to peg the real one? Wouldn't the fake try to accuse the real one of being the fake? Ahead of time? So that if any... no, that'd be kind of crazy if they would have to... And then they would have to find a way to distinguish between the two Rufuses. Not that it would be easy. What bizarre experience. Not everyone gets to be their own imposter. It's hilarious. Good on you for thinking it up, boss. Well, I wasn't lying about them being good. It won't be long before they learn to troop in from their superiors and come after us. We shouldn't remain in the city for any longer than is needed. Can't hurt to scope out the place first, though, right? I suppose. We'll just have to make it a brief tour before continuing on for the Mainz-bound path. Does part of scoping out mean inspecting all the restaurants? That's gonna have to wait until next time. Alright, got this stuff from Jingo. What is it? A farewell gift, apparently. Custom rod and custom spooler. Fishing bait 10. What, does she think we're off on a picnic or something? What's a picnic? Ah, you're too darn cute, LP. No point in looking a gift first in the mouth. Let's use it. We'll look like tourists or something. Good for camo. Indeed, I'll leave its use to your discretion. Just try not to stand out too much. Got it. It might be nice to take a briefer every now and again. Squid and Nadia can now fish. Rufus is now in stealth mode. Rufus will move out the city in stealth mode due to Ramda's functionality. Notice when Rufus is a party leader in town, he cannot be seen by others or use shops. Rufus's mask and shirt. I'm just gonna run around invisible while in his swimsuit. Haha. But I can't talk to anyone, can I? You don't see passengers trains run through here anymore. There was a time when you see all kinds of trains coming and going. I hope these days aren't gone for good.
I shall.
I see, he says mostly the same things, but he'll actually turn and look at whoever you're talking to if they're not invisible.
Okay.
How shall we
All
play?
right.
This road leads to Crossbell City. Stay on guard.
Very well.
That is kind of awkward.
So, where should we start our search? The administrative district? Could be flying a little too close to the sun. But then again, sometimes that's what you gotta do to nab something juicy.
Very astute. Indeed, the higher the risk, the greater the reward.
I don't see why we shouldn't go there at some point, personally.
I can't afford to have my cover blown. Best allow the others to do business on our behalf.
My turn!
Look at all those people kissing the Supreme Leader Supreme Ass. Hard to believe that nearly everyone's falling for that nonsense. There's gotta be more to it, but I'd rather stay the hell out of it and keep my hands clean. Wendy, are you brainwashed too? Hi, welcome to... Oh, it's not often we have kids your age coming in by themselves. Just between you and me, if you're the good kids I think you are, you should stay home where it's safe right now. I don't know what the deal is with that Rufus guy speeches that they keep playing on the monitor cars around down, but they seem to be brainwashing people into following his every word. Be careful. Anyway, if you kids get in any trouble, I'll try to help you best I can. I know some good people, and I'm sure we can find a way to help you, even if we have to keep it on the download. My, how generous. We'll keep that in mind. She's friendly, isn't she? And well connected if she knows people who are working underground. The more important you are, the less likely you are to be affected by the curse, huh? Hey, they got level 3 stuff now. I might be able to make evasion free. We haven't exactly had a lot of customers coming in through the door lately. I wonder how much longer this occupation is going to drag on. I hope it ends soon. At the very least, I hope it doesn't lead to another war. We need to do whatever we can to avoid that. That's why other countries should just surrender to us already. That way we won't have it anymore. You're too unimportant to resist the brainwashing. I wonder what was I saying just now. Maybe it was my imagination. Not important enough to resist. Haha. I said before and I'll say again. Rufus is just a dreamiest. And that dark red cloak over that hot white military uniform? Delish. I almost thought she was talking about you. It's flattering enough to be me, but no. You can barely even tell they were brainwashed to begin with, huh? That's the Supreme Leader Rufus to you. Wouldn't want to go disrespecting our man's new title. But you're totally right. Just one look at him has me burning up. Crossbell special issue. Oh no. Let me guess. The writers were also brainwashed. Special issue. The United Nations. Crossbell's new system of governance. 4 days have passed since the signing ceremony. In that time, Crossbell's political situation has shifted dramatically. Although communications and the flow of goods remain disrupted, we at the Crossbell Times would like to take this opportunity to better inform readers about what is taking place using information as verifiably accurate as possible under current conditions. After declaring the establishment of the United Nations of Crossbell at the signing ceremony, a new government has assumed control of the region. This effort is led by Supreme Leader Rufus Albrea, who previously occupied the seat of Governor General for 2 years. His sudden re-emergence has come as a shock to citizens, as have some of the central figures in his new administration. Chief among them is Deirdre Croy, Crossbell's one-time former president who led its previous independence bid. Joining him are Garcia Rossi, the former head of Mafia Syndicate Reverie, which previously controlled half of Crossbell's underworld, and renowned dancer Ilya Platir, dressed in something far more sinister than her usual Arkansas attire. Myriad questions persist surrounding the circumstances of this patchwork of figures standing shoulder to shoulder with the Supreme Leader. When and how did Croy and Rossi emerge from their imprisonment? Likewise, the exact identity of the masked armored figure lurking among them is still under investigation here at the Crossbell Times. Legislature suspended. Yesterday, a new government announced that it would be officially suspending the authority of the provincial legislature, arguing that with over half its members missing, including Speaker McDowell, the body effectively could not function. With central authorities now in full command of all governmental authority, it remains to be seen what, if any, power the legislature has left. Similarly, the day after a board signing ceremony, the Crossbell Police and the Guardian Force were also suspended on a semi-permanent basis, putting the new administration in effective control of Crossbell for all intents and purposes. As of the signing ceremony, the entirety of Crossbell remains on high alert. The institutions such as St. Ursula Medical College continue to operate. The Michelin is closed to the public. By extension, the new government has stationed security forces, officially referred to as the Ebon Defense Force, at critical points around the region. Ominously, Zauber's Zolats have been seen operating among them. According to the government's public relations department, the EDF is its most elite unit. Its members highly trained and outfitted with the latest equipment to perform their duties. The Helmord, regarded as the latest Zauber Solat model, is alleged to boast vastly superior power output and endurance compared to the traditional Sorge and Melgia models, as well as individual firepower several orders of magnitude higher than that seen in the Imperial Army's Panzer Solat units. Such posturing could signal that the government is guarding against possible military interference from both the Erebonian Empire and the Republic of Calvard. Some sources additionally indicate that in neighboring regions outside of Crossbell City, intermittent resistance efforts against the new government are underway. Among them are rumored to be the remnants of the officially dismantled Guardian Force. Though some Crossbellans have criticized the way in which the United Nations government took power, the surprising majority appear to accept the new administration. Many citizens also expressed support of the government's proposed political course of action moving forward, perhaps due to their long-suppressed stream of independence reaching a fever pitch at last. Partly as a result of this support, the turmoil that was expected to rise as a result of the dramatic takeover has been better contained than initially anticipated. Furthermore, as the state of alert remains in effect, the communications blackout continues to be enforced across the entire region, making it impossible to ascertain the current state of affairs in the outside world. Even so, one of our reporters who left Crossbell immediately prior to the signing ceremony is believed to still be carrying out her journalistic duties from abroad. Once we manage to reestablish our contact with her, we'll be sure to give our readers the latest news about what's happening internationally. Special Support Section remains missing. As for a Special Support Section and their cohorts, who were last seen resisting Supreme Leader Rufus's uprising at the signing ceremony, their whereabouts have yet to be ascertained. In these circumstances, that bear a great resemblance to the independence bid made 2 years ago. All eyes are on them, both citizen and government alike, waiting for them to make their next move. The Crossbell Times will report on their movements as such information becomes available. Saltio and Nana are both trying to find something that only they can do right now. I'm truly happy with how dependable they've become. My only concern is related to their cooking. Their ingredients have been getting stranger and stranger. They both improve leaps and bounds, so it's not their flavor that's the problem. But if a customer asks what's something made of and they give an honest answer, that won't be good for business. Were they taking lessons from Freddy? Crap, can't believe we're out of herbs. We imported ours, so we're selling ducks right now. We can't get more. Wait, what if we use that plant monster from the Yard Days Hardy Powder? Ooh, that might add just the flavor we need. And if we mix it with the green liquid, yeah, it'll be amazing. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that. Using parts of a monster I'm cool with, but green liquid, what does that even mean? I'd rather not eat here.
Ooh, I smell fresh goodies! They hype this place up as much as anything you'd find in Heimdall. Nadia, we have to stop here and gather some intel.
I knew you were both just screwing around at the capital.
What the heck's going on? Pops was totally against the Supreme Leader's whole thing, but suddenly he changed his mind out of nowhere. My brother did the same thing. Could it be, brainwashing? Mommy and Zay have been acting weird too. Are we gonna start acting like that? I don't know. Let's just make sure not to listen to the Supreme Leader. Yeah. Heck, clever children. Ooh, that bread smells so yummy. Hey, that's a pretty discerning nose you've got, little lady. We only sell the best bread in town. Feel free to have a look around. I promise you'll like what you see. It's our bread and butter, literally. Everyone needs a good food to keep their spirits up, especially at times like these. Can we get some bread to go? Please, Nadia, pretty please? I don't see why not. What's that pitch black stuff over there? Well, that's her latest. Bennett baked it herself. She even made the dough from scratch. It's really good, despite appearances. I just wish I could say the same about her attitude lately. I try not to worry about her, but she hasn't made it easy. Did she get brainwashed? Well, if her bread is good, then I say we have to try it. I hope you two remember we didn't come to Crossbell to eat pastries. We're getting distracted. Double... food cornet. That looks disturbing. Dark chocolate. Here's ailments. Insight for 2 turns. Wait, but those are at my defense? What? That sounds pretty bad. So did you get cursed? I'm glad people seem to be taking to my new chocolate bread recipe. Now that I'm surprised. I was praying for everyone to have a safe future as they bake, so I'd like to think that came through. Oh, if you're wondering why it's pitch black, that's because the color is inspired by the Supreme Leader and the Duskin Dancer. I hope and pray with all my heart that the United Nation of Crossbell will become a tranquil country. Heh, heh, heh. Oh no. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Is she? Yes, this must be the brainwashing at work. It's taking the hold of so much of the populace. No, I thought you were important enough to resist. You're supposed to be better than this. Our newest menu is offering us Bennett's brainchild. Strangely, it's actually selling well. But don't tell me it's probably spreading the brainwashing somehow, because, you know, dark chocolate reminds you of the Ebon Defense Force or something. I don't know. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, mine. It just feels a little unsettling to see, you could say. Bennett's been blabbering some real nonsense lately, too. Makes me wonder what's gotten into her. Does that mean we won't get brainwashed if we eat it, too? Are you brainwashed, too? Sigh. I swear, all I do lately is sigh and sigh. No matter how worrying things might get, I can't keep going like this, darn it. I'm sure Matthew is trying his hardest to make the best of things over in Michelin, too. I'm worried about Yuna, but I know she's doing what she can with her teacher and classmates to set things right. I've got to pull myself together. I need to stay positive for Ken and Nana's sake. Okay, good. You seem to be safe. For now. It's so boring around here now the city's been occupied again. Yeah, everyone just goes on and on about the Supreme Leader. It stinks. What the? Who's she and where'd she come from? Wow, you're all dressed up like a doll and your hair is super fluffy and really cute. My, what good taste you have. I am Rosenberg Studios' masterwork doll after all. Praise me more. Huh? Wow, really? Listen, I know they're just children, but you shouldn't blow your cover so easily. Sorry about that, you two. Our little friend likes to tease a lot. Don't take her seriously. Oh, really? It was just a joke? Now I'm confused. Things are looking pretty dicey the way they're headed, aren't they? Yeah, more and more people are losing their minds where I'm working. It's hard to just stand by and watch it all happen. The former delinquents. Looks like we'll have to move forward with the plan we devised with Wendy. What other choice do we have? Wait, not yet. First we need to figure out what the holes there are in the EDF's patrol routes. Who's there? Oh, it's just a bunch of kids. Are you guys lost or something? You don't look like you live in this apartment building. Golly, yes, we're just walking around, talking about how scary all the grown-ups are acting lately. And before we knew it, we somehow wandered past our building. Oopsie. Phew, that's all. You guys had us scared for a minute there. These kids seem legit. I wouldn't worry about them. Just be careful and head straight home, you hear me? Sure thing. Sorry for the commotion. We'll do. Too easy. I could pull these chumps in my sleep. Did you get brainwashed? Yes or no? It'll be okay, Serena. There's still hope left, I promise. Don't forget, we made it through the EDF and their whole siege. We just have to be strong and make it the best of things, okay? You're right. Thanks, Clarice. Hazel and Hugo aren't giving up either. They're trying their best too. I've got to pull myself together. You be careful out there too, Clarice, please. Look after Hazel and the Yaros. Make sure they stay safe doing all that underground stuff. Don't worry, they're all in good hands with me. From what Noelle and the Yaros tell me, they know their way around things just fine. I've got to step up my game and help how I can, whether it's with people's daily needs or guarding intel around the neighborhoods. Huh, so Noelle's mom is actually a part of the resistance. Hazel's so amazing. No matter how hard things get, he never gives up. He faces his troubles head on. I don't know if there's anything I can do, but I can at least cheer him on. I'm guessing you got brainwashed again. Gotta admit, the Supreme Leader does have a point. No! Wouldn't things be wonderful if Crossbell was the center of Zemuria? Listen to me, Krail. That would bring nothing but more conflict with our countries again. Never mind. This time he's the one who's not brainwashed. What a reversal, huh? And if that happened, it'd be possible I'd be dropped again and have to be away from our family. Nobody wants that, right? We'd all be so lonely without each other. What? Yes, you're right. What was I even thinking? What a terrible thing that would be. I can't even bear 5 of us being separated from you again, sweetheart. Promise me, Bob. Promise me you'll always stay with us, with your family, okay? Of course, I wouldn't dream of spending my life any other way. Oh, that was close. My mother has been acting so weird lately. Sometimes she says she doesn't trust the Supreme Leader. Other times she says he's the perfect man to guide us. It's very odd. I may be just a kid, but even I know when something bad is going on. Now Far can be at home with us, though, so I'm not worried about her. He says that his business hours at work have changed, so he can spend more time with us all. I'm sure everything's gonna be just fine with him around, right, Marie? I better check if Kopei and his caretaker got brainwashed again. Oh, you worry about me? It's okay, Daddy's at work and Mommy's in Michelin, so she can't come home yet. I know it's scary since the city's acting all weird. We gotta keep tough, though. Be as tough as can be. The SSS isn't sad just because things are scary, right? So we can't get sad either. Let's keep smiling, Kopei. Notice of suspending operations. The Crossbell branch will be temporarily closed until further notice. I figured it'd be closed. As did I. I'm sure its members will still be keeping themselves plenty occupied, however. We never saw Arios during the whole thing, though. Dang, I bet he could have... he would have turned the tides against the Supreme Leader. You folks look like you have some pretty interesting stories. Don't get your panties in the bites. I'm not gonna pry. I've got enough going on in my life. Before I can have a look around. Wait, did she say 4? LP, you gotta keep it down. Guess it's too late for that. Who do you think you're fooling? I almost feel bad for you. If that was your idea of being subtle, I don't see you getting very far. She's really turning into us. Hold on. Now that I think about it, does the sign on the storefront say... Correct, this is Nightwally's main store. Jingo would be our daughter. Nightwally is one of the few businesses that caught my attention as Governor General. It certainly seems to have its uses. Yet here you are still covering your rear end. You're a real piece of work. What are you guys talking about? Someone explain it to me. We all knock off with that whispering. Wrap it up. I'm trying to run a business here. Either buy something or get out. Yes, ma'am. She has a point. Stores like this are more our style. We should probably stock up over here. They had to go and shut down the Transcontinental Railroad, not to mention the phone service. This is just making my job harder. It'd be nice if someone out there could knock that imposter's head off his shoulders already. Oh, again, she must have heard from Jingo. Maybe Jingo put in a good word for us. She seem to have us figured out. Then she's someone else to be made use of. I say we do so wisely. I still have no clue what's going on. The guild. Can I buy any fishing things from you? Wait, there's a cutscene here. Why? Well, wow, that's one enormous picture of a fish. What exactly is it, and why do they have it hanging there like it's such a big deal? That must be what they call a fish print. It is pretty impressive to look at, I've gotta admit. Oh, you learn something new every day. It's essentially a way to leave an imprint of a fish you've caught on paper. It's our first time seeing one up close as well. Given its prominence, I think it's safe to assume this must be a fishing shop. Well, that's right. Didn't you guys just start learning how to fish? I never realized it was possible to catch fish this big. How cool. You think I could learn how to fish? I'd love to give it a try. I don't know, you're pretty tiny, LP. Some of those big catches might give you a hard time out there. And when you quit your day job, if you ask me, the fish would be the ones reeling you in. Oh, come on, you guys know full well how strong I am. I can handle a fish that big, no problem. You'll see. Oh, whoa, we got customers. And it doesn't look like you're with the Evan Defense Force. Phew, that's a relief. You folks seem pretty young, but I can tell the two of you in the back have got a zeal for fishing, eh? Truth be told, the Fisherman's Guild has a lot going on right now. Hate to say it, but we ain't in the active operation right now. In fact, all our members got separated. I managed to make it back here in one piece, but as for the others, well. So I can't just leave a couple of fellow fishers out to dry when they're gone through the trouble of coming out here. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and sell you kids' fishing equipment. If you need anything, let me know and I'll hook you up. That's so kind of you, sir. Thanks so much. Sounds like you've really been through the ringer lately, huh? If you don't mind, then I think it'll take some time to look around for a while. I'm guessing you don't mind anyways. The way I see it, this guy could be a source of some valuable intel. Not at all. I'd say that's a perfectly wise decision. Undoctrinated civilians appear to be few and far between these days. The more we can use to our advantage, the better. I was in Argo for a while, so this whole deal is rubbing me the wrong way now I'm seeing it for myself. Almost everyone has been welcoming these EDF goons with open arms. What's going on here? It only makes it easier for them to focus on catching rebels that flood the city. Getting back into the city was no easy feat, let me tell you. I'm worried about how the Arab members are holding up. They could be anywhere. That's not good. You think they're keeping a close eye on all the exits out of town? They don't seem to be concerned about the mountain path, at least, but we should still be careful. So what's the plan here, Roos? We got enough vanilla yubeshi in stock to make a mini mountain. We're barely getting any customers. If this keeps up, we're gonna go out of business. Good point. There's no way we can eat all this before it goes bad either. I don't know. Maybe Ashley will have some ideas. Actually, Roos, I might have one. If all we can do is throw it out, why not give it out for free instead? Are you nuts? That's the profit in... Oh, who am I kidding? We're on the brink of shutting our doors for good. The least we can do is write in a few people stay with food before we go. It's a great idea, Puck. Let's do it. Great, I'm glad you're up for it.
There's this sweet smell coming from... I think it's that stall. Can we go?
If you children could gather intelligence instead of food, that would better serve our needs.
Yeah, S. Quit being so lazy.
Hey!
This will take us to the Uptown District, right? Correct, it was redeveloped during the Imperial occupation to give its officers a place to live. Most of them have moved back to the Empire, of course, leaving the majority of its properties up for sale. Where do you think the ringleader behind it all is standing right here? We should probably skip it if we don't want it to run to the EDF. No better spot for them to hang out in an Imperial District. I wonder what's gotten into the owner. He's never struck me as the kind of man who would see anything in someone like the Supreme Leader. Perhaps he's just feeling uneasy because Shan-Shan's missing. Can't say I blame him. United Nation of Crossbell, I don't hate the sound of it. There are lots of interesting customers in the city, and that makes it worthwhile to keep cooking up new dishes. Most importantly, Shan-Shan smiles more than ever since we moved here. She's made good friends. Which is precisely why Crossbell should become the strongest nation on the continent under the Supreme Leader. I want this country to become strong and resilient, like the darkness in the dancer's performance. I'm impressed at how far you've come. Well done, Koki. I can feel your soul swirling with the noodles in this bowl. For real? Yes, you did well to persevere through these troubled times. It's unfortunate we have no customers to test your skills upon. Nevertheless, I hereby pass on to you the beginner rank of the Ozel School of Noodles. Continue to push forward in your training. Yes, boss. What's this stuff? I want to try some. I totally know what you mean, but we'll have to save it for later. So this building belongs to Radio Trista, an Erebonian radio station in Crossbell. I bet it'd be pretty fun to sneak into, but we don't have time for that. Really? Would it? Radio, huh? Maybe we'll ask about it later. They must be on patrol. Are these the Panther Swallows we've heard about? I'm sure I can see them deploying the sea. All the more reason not to get in a fight with one of those things. Swallows or not, we can't afford to be spotted by the enemy. Let's put some distance between us. If I'm not mistaken, this is the branch officer of the largest syndicate in the East. Hey, wait, isn't that right? I will not pay them a courtesy visit. Yes, I heard they're in league with my imposter. We should stay clear of them. I don't get what the big deal is. Hey, wait, huh? I like it. I give the name 45 points. Man, the Supreme Leader really is something else. What a speech. That's right, you should write all about his glory. I plan to. Who is? Oh, you're just a kid. Hey, it's dangerous out here. You should stay inside. Duly noted. Thanks for a tip. News service is the best way to relay the Supreme Leader's power to the citizens. We're willing to cooperate with their coverage so long as it doesn't get in the way of our work. It's a shame we can't contact anyone on the outside, but that's all the more reason to do everything in power from here. And since Grace isn't breathing down my neck this time, maybe I'll take this chance to get some real work done. This group is a really interesting dynamic. Is it just me, or weren't there actually 4 of them? I hope Grace is doing okay out there. Don't get me wrong, I trust that she can handle herself. It's just hard not to worry when we can't get a hold of her. Can't believe some of my own reporters are demanding permission to write fluff pieces praising the Supreme Leader. Never in a million years did I think such bootlickers would emerge within our own ranks. Just thinking about it gives me migraine. Yeah, Ellie McDowell is staying in Armorica with a few other allies. Speaker McDowell is there and doing well. He should make a full recovery. Whew, that's a relief. I wish we could report any of this, but the damn defense force is breathing down our necks. It's like we're under Imperial rule again. Worse, actually, with everyone acting out of their minds. And I'm sick and tired of shelving my article about Crossbell becoming independent. I got the same sense even from all the way in Armorica. It's bizarre how badly Rufus Albrea has the people wrapped around his finger. Hard to ignore how the similarity to what the curse was doing to people last year. I bet Reen would have a few answers. Anyways, thanks for dropping by, Rex. It's good talk with someone who has their head on their shoulders. No problem, I'm your man. Our first next cutscene, I think it would be best if I had Rufus's mask off. So that's the Supreme Leader, huh? From a distance, he really does look exactly like our Rufus, other than his haircut. You struggle to tell them apart. Shit, is our cover blown? Isn't he one of Heiuei's top brass? We can't take any chances, we must move at once. I think we're good now. We should be able to get to the entertainment district up ahead now. Is it just me or are there lots of people here? It isn't just you. We have to take our proper precautions. Full stealth mode. Wow, some crowd, huh? You must be watching whatever's on the screen. It's your fake, boss. It appears to be a recording.
As you well know, Western Zemuria is in a lamentable state. Jirai and North Ambria have become frequent targets of terrorism, and racial conflict remains rife throughout the Calvard Republic. Evil is no longer a seedling to be uprooted with ease. It has bloomed and dispersed corruption across the entire continent. Yet all hope is not lost. I ask that you remember the ideals of the late Blood and Iron Chancellor, Gileath Osborne. He understood that if we could not eradicate evil in parts, that we must then be united as a whole through armed might. If we forego a unified system to divide and allocate our resources where they are best needed, we will never know true peace. That is why I, Rufus Alborea, the successor to His Excellency's legacy, have vowed to bring our many great nations together. We cannot let evil continue to sow its seeds. We must fight back for the sake of humanity's future, for the sake of our world's future. And should any neighboring country to which I extend this warm invitation refuse, they will receive due judgment for their arrogance.
This is just crazy. No two ways about it. And the boss is crazy reporting to stop him. No two ways about it times 2. I'll take it as a compliment. What's he talking about? Uniting as a whole. Forcing it through our might is no better than terrorism. Good and Crossbell for pushing back. I'm surprised. I figured they'd make quick work of anyone speaking ill of them. Look, the channel's changed. The Brainwashing channel. It's Ilya Platir from Arkansas. This one looks like a live feed. The breakdance of evil. He's right. If we keep waiting for a piece of heaven, it'll never come. Crossbell's the economic hub of Zemuria. Our job is to lead and pave the way for the rest of the world. Every word Supreme Leader Rufus has said rings true. He's a very symbol of hope for our future. Something about these people is making him uncomfortable. Say, Nadia. Rufus, what are you just saying there? I'm bored of this. Let's go elsewhere, please. Rufus, hey Rufus, are you listening? Swin, Nadia, why aren't you talking to me? Are you bullying me? Is she immune to the curse somehow? Huh? Wait, Rufus. Nadia, Swin. What's going on?
RECURIA.
You mean we could cure the curse just with a simple art? Really?
Over here. Whoa! Check out all the dolls! It's LP as far as the eye can see! I'll thank you to remember that I'm a Rosenberg doll. I'm in a different league compared to those garden variety specimens.
And yet, some of these were in fact made by the studio of which you speak.
Really? Oh, you're right! This perfectly sculpted masterpiece is unmistakably a Rosenberg!
You have our thanks. Now, would you prefer Angel of Slaughter or Wren Bright?
Call me whatever you like, Jade Rook. I suspected something wasn't right about our new Supreme Leader, and seeing you explains why.
I've heard you were an astute one, and you do not disappoint.
Someone you know?
Not on a personal level, no. But we are familiar with one another's backgrounds.
I honestly didn't expect to meet you quite like this. Though, truth be told, my interest is mostly in her.
You are associated with Jorg Rosenberg, if I'm not mistaken. She is? He did a lot for me in the past. I guess you're the same as us then. So it seems. My name's Ren Bright, and since fate has brought us together, let's say we make the most of it. If you're a friend of the Meister, I suppose we were bound to meet eventually. My name is Swin. I'm Nadia. I have a feeling you and I are going to be two peas in a pod. What coincidence, I was just thinking the same thing. We totally have the same vibe. This would be heartwarming if it wasn't borderline chilling. Incidentally, if I may ask, since you are aware of her existence, might you have heard something about her from the Meister? Not as much as you're likely hoping, I'm afraid. He contacted me a short while ago. All he mentioned is that she exists. He also asked me to help her if she ever needed it. So you don't know anything about her background then? I'm afraid not. Sorry to disappoint. And our objective remains unchanged. We should make for the Rosenberg studio. Oh, that's where you're headed. And then might I join you? I haven't been there for some time, but it seems to have been occupied by someone exceptionally unpleasant. I was thinking of giving the place a little spring cleaning, but it's a bit too much for me to handle alone. And we'd be glad to have you as our guide. I wonder what Jingo would say if she knew we'd add another kid to our picnicking group. Welcome to the Imperial Picnicking Front, Ren. That's not our name. Before we depart, there's one more thing we should confirm. Yeah, I don't want to run into trouble like we did earlier again. What did we witness in the entertainment district before you came to save us? It's a form of mind control employed by the Supreme Leader. Seriously? So he's brainwashing people. The principle is similar, but works somewhat differently. It can be used across a wide area, and the effects are cumulative. I was able to save you with the orbital arts earlier because its effects hadn't fully set in yet. But the residents of Crossbell who have been exposed to it multiple times won't be as easy to save. And the weapon bringing about this form of mind control is Ilya Platir's stance. So it seems, although I still don't know exactly how it all works. But last night, the fallen sun princess cast shadows over everyone's hearts like that of the eclipse. So that's how they're able to keep the people in control despite how forcefully they took over Crossbell. I hope RX is okay. Regardless, I think we've established it is not something we are capable of countering at present. Let us be off. LP, time to mosey. Just a minute. If you don't hurry up, we're gonna sell you the shop. Then you'll be stuck in a display case unable to move, just like those dolls. There'll be no more walking, talking, or yummy desserts for you ever again. I'm coming. You big meanie.
Well, are those customers I spy? What a peculiar bunch you are.
Wait, when did you put that on? I thought it was broken. I always carry a spare. You arrived at just the right time. I'm about to get going. Thank you for taking care of me these past few days. Think nothing of it, dearie. Are you headed off with these people then? That's right. I can tell you're in for quite a hoot. Oh, no doubt. Stars above. I see that old man made himself a new model. Just look at how expressive she is. This woman scares me. I'm impressed you were able to tell she's a Rosenberg so quickly. Heh, I couldn't convince you to part with her, could I? I'll make it more than worth your while. You won't regret it. Sure, just give me a full stack of all those evasion accessories you have on you. How much are we talking? Gosh, now I'm tempted. Yes, give me at least 20 pure evergreens. Then I'll consider it. How can you even think of selling me? You can drop the act now, Nadia. I'm afraid she's not for sale, ma'am. We still need her ourselves. I see, that is a shame. Well, my offer still stands if you ever change your mind. Dang it, you missed out on a great opportunity to fully min-max the party. Time to make our way for the main mountain path. What fun little gadget this is. Snagged one for yourself during last year's spy debacle, I'm guessing. Correct. Hey, you never miss a beat, do you? Ren has joined the party. Unfortunately, I take good care of her, but you left her in my hands. Anyway, be careful if you're headed to the factory. I wouldn't want her to get scratched. We'll keep her in pristine condition.
Gotcha! It's got heft! It's a good size.
Alright, that's a new one. Kangaroo. Sepif... Okay. Why are you guarding an entire hotel? Quite a number of foreign tourists got caught up in the operation. I feel bad for them, but they'll have to stay at the hotels for the time being. That's why I'm here, to make sure they don't come and go about are okay. Frankly, the Crossbell and me thinks it's a damn shame Arkansas doesn't have any performances lined up. At least we got a Duskin Dancer's show to look forward to. You've seen her dance, right? It's like nothing else in Zemuria. Oh, I almost can't wait to see her again. This guy's a native Crossbellan? Damn. That mask Ilya's wearing really suits her. She's great as a fervent dancer and a Sun Princess, but a Duskin Dancer has that extra little something. She should try and create a flavor based on Ilya's current act. Let me guess, more dark chocolate? There are almost as many people in the entertainment district as there are in Central Square. All the more reason we can't skip on security. Now isn't the time to gamble. Now's the time for all of us to come together as one. Our neighboring countries ought to hurry and accept the Supreme Leader's proposal sooner rather than later. Where would you like to go? Mainz Mountain Path. Following this path will eventually take us to the one leading to the studio. There are monsters wandering around, but I think we can take our chances. We can, yes, but what about you? Oh, you needn't worry about me. I've got my weapon right here. Wow, that's so neat. Heh, why thank you. So use a scythe, huh? What peculiar choice. It's simple design belies just how difficult it is to wield. I can use most weapons, sure, but this one has always had my heart. Because it's neat? Because it's perfect for slicing off heads. No! No indeed, I'm just joking. The more I get to know you, the more I think we're going to be the best of friends. I'd like if you didn't bond with her or be hanging people. By the way, are any of you familiar with United Fronts? I can't say I am. I'm not either. Is it unusual that we don't? It's still in the early stages of development, it's not really. It's a new Argus 2 feature that lets 5 or more people work together. Oh, you know, I might have heard something about that. Those students had better teamwork than I gave them credit for, so I've been wondering if there was more to it. It was like a buffed up version of Combat Links. You hit the nail right on the head, even in the fact that those students were using it. It does have its limitations, like how only those who shared a certain connection at the end of the Twilight can use it. I, however, am one of those people, so you might be able to pull it off as long as I'm around. How promising. It's worth the attempt in any event. I agree, there are exactly 5 of us here, so there's no reason not to the next time someone tries to play nasty with us. Sounds like a plan to me. Now use United Fronts.
How could you, Nadia? How could you think to sell me off to that woman? Oh, how couldn't I when your cuteness is worth a fortune? I wouldn't want to insult you by cheaping out. I'm that cute? Well, that is true. I forgive you.
This was an alarming about-face.
Crossbell Cathedral here is pretty famous, isn't it? It's sure ritzy enough to have earned a big name.
The building is beautiful, and the air is so clean. I love it.
Guess the brainwashing doesn't have much impact here. It won't hurt to take a quick look around.
This isn't the first time Crossbell's had its back to the wall, but the second we get our independence back, it falls to hell all over again. How are the folks living here ever supposed to get a good night's sleep? I normally sell drinks in the administrative district for a living. Speaker McDowell has been a regular of mine for years too. I make his favorite acerbic tomato shake all the time. The nurse who was here earlier said he's doing much better now. What a relief. Inspiring even. I may be just a humble juice vendor, but now I want to do everything I can to help my state pull through this. How am I going to help, you may be asking yourself? Well, by coming up with a new specialty drink to sell. You're welcome to give it a try if you'd like. Hopefully it'll give you the boost you need. That sounds great. Can I try some, Swin? Huh, can I? I'm not going to stop you. It's your funeral. Does that mean Swin actually tried some of the acerbic drinks before? Okay, learned acerbic red soda. Pete! Oh, it's you all. Do you come all the way to the cathedral to take refuge? Sure, something like that. Well, you're almost welcome to visit the classroom over there to keep your minds off things. Michi and Michette are there too. They're doing what they can to cheer everyone up. I bet they're having as much a rough go as anyone under those suits, but they're still trying hard for everyone's sake. That's amazing. Seeing that makes me want to do something more to help the people during a crisis like this. I still have a lot of respect for my old mentor. He says it takes more to become a good lawyer than simply studying all the time. That's why I'm learning how to prepare medicine, or at least I want to be able to help. What's up, LP? What? Don't tell me he's cursed or something. Yes, the speaker's condition is stable now, so things at the clinic are much calmer. That's why I decided to follow a photographer in town in hopes of helping here. I see, you have my deepest gratitude. We have people here who were injured while fleeing from the city, and others who are suffering from malnutrition. We have basic healing supplements on hand and the like, but I can only get so far. Having a certified nurse with us is a boon. Come on, everybody, we need you to be happy, or else me and my brother are going to be real sad. Trust me, you don't want to see Mishi when he's sad. His face gets all mushed up and droopy. It's an awful sight. In Metro Mishi, his screws go flying everywhere. It's a real pain to Kaiser to fix him when that happens. Trust me. So that's why we all need to have fun together, so tragedies like those can be avoided. Mihi, is everyone ready? Let's sing Michelin Wonderland's theme song together. That'll give us the big boost of energy we need. Hold on, did these two seriously flee the sea while wearing those costumes the entire time? Why bother? Was keeping up the act really worth all that hassle just so kids wouldn't catch them out of character? Duh, we're talking about a child's innocence here. Do you want them to be scarred for life? I sympathize with the people behind that the furs, but everyone's gotta do their part to protect their characters. Well, hello, I don't think we've had the pleasure before. My name's Mishi. I came all the way from Michelin Wonderland, and this here's my sister Michette. Everyone's been looking so down lately, so we just stopped by to turn those frowns upside down with a few dances. So feel free to join us then. Make a wishy with Mishi. Now you try. Make a wishy with Mishi. I don't get it. What's that supposed to mean? There you are. Your injuries have really healed up quite nicely. It's all thanks to you. I couldn't have gotten better without you. If only I wasn't such a panic like I was, I wouldn't have tripped and injured myself in a spectacular fashion. Thinking about it now, it was pretty embarrassing. Don't be so hard on yourself. Everyone was struggling to stay calm given the situation. The fact you regret your actions now means you're a kind person at heart. You needn't feel any guiltier than that. Mishi and Michelle are just the cutest. I know they're here for the children first and foremost, but seeing them is lifting my spirits too. They're gods this end. Wait, what am I saying? I'm supposed to be supervising the children. I don't have time to fawn over adorable mascots. Especially need to keep a close eye on Vaughn and Ruze. There's no telling what those two troublemakers might do.
Should be easy street.
Wait, we all got the speed advantage. That's strange. I actually did not expect that.
Arcus, activate!
Fire is what you're weak to, huh?
Activating drive.
On it.
Zoom zone.
Close!
Simpleton!
Okay.
Alright, so far we got a decent start. Man, I really wish Swin had better crafts.
Target locked. Keep at it!
Too late!
Close!
You're all nice and lined up for my fire arts.
Ha!
Nice.
Good day and goodbye.
But of course.
Noblesse Rune. Strength ATS up. Only for self though, and restores the BP. Some items, okay.
I've got you where I want you.
Yeah, the enemies are just fucking insane. Not good.
Activating drive.
Arcus, activate!
go!
Ha!
Damn.
How shall we play? Yeah! How shall we play? Arcus, activate!
Very well. Activating drive. Here!
On it. Target locked. They're down!
Too late!
Take him out!
How shall we play?
All right.
Okay, I can actually win.
How plain.
Asking for it!
Extermination complete.
Well, that was close. Yeah, some enemies actually did get a super speed boost, so that means I'm actually completely screwed.
I've got you where I want you.
Zodiac code.
Carp!
It's not.
Okay. Target locked.
Back tenfold!
I'll take care of it.
Why is this game so awful when it comes to casting speed?
It's me!
Okay.
Arcus, activate!
My turn now. Activating drive.
Close! Keep at it!
Too late!
Ready? Carp! Okay. Target locked. Keep at it!
Too late!
Close! Keep at it!
Too late!
Here you go! Ha!
I'll take care of it.
Damn, that was insane.
Cut you down!
How shall we play? Arcus, activate!
Ready? Carp! On it. Hip! That ought to do it. Not much of a surprise.
The cherry on top!
This tablet. Ah, gold chest for being that tough foe.
We should get that chest while we're here.
True composure shawl. You should be giving me more evasion stuff, just saying. Right now, things are looking pretty bad. What was that? Is something wrong, Rufus? No, it's nothing. What's this I'm sensing? Choosing to continue would cause the main story to advance. It will also not be possible to go any further in Rufus' story for a brief period. Proceed. How much longer? I'm so tired. Really? We haven't even walked that far yet. Rosenberg Studio isn't too far from here. And you, are you sure there's nothing wrong? You're acting awfully preoccupied. I simply don't think it's worth mentioning. No, wait. What is that? Looks like a piece of the mirror or something. The design is really weird too. I didn't take you for a type to collect trinkets. I'm not. I couldn't tell you where it came from. It's just suddenly appeared in my pocket. In what? How could that be possible? I don't know the answer to that, but nor do I think we can afford to leave that unanswered. A predicament indeed. Thanks for tuning in to this Let's Play of Trails in the Reverie. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and or hit the bell icon.